Hello, and thank you for watching the last video, part of my Sight and Substance Checking with Lexis Plus training series. In this very short video, I'm going to discuss two outstanding issues I haven't covered. One of those being when you have an author with a common name but a missing citation, and when you come across orphan text. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, the first problem I want to discuss is finding the correct author to an article with no citation, especially when that author's name is common. So what is the problem I'm talking about here? You need to find the correct author to an article with no citation. The example I'm going to work with is, let's say that your author cites to Thomas Wilhelm as the author of a student note about Google Books, but the author fails to give the citation to that law review article. The solution for us is going to be to run a search for the first name preceding the last name by 2 words, then search within results to filter to the subject matter of the article. So we will use the search Thomas pre to Wilhelm, and I'll go over what that means when we flip over to Lexis. So as I mentioned, this tends to be a problem when the author's name is common. Thomas Wilhelm is not terribly common, but if you were to search his name just the way it was written in the problem, you would not find him because he has listed his name as Thomas E. Wilhelm. So you will come across this issue in a lot of different instances, especially when you're looking for authors for your footnoting assignments, but also when you're looking for certain judges' opinions, witnesses, things like that. A lot of people tend to use their middle initial. So this is a good tip to know in general on Lexis. So what we're going to do is type in Thomas, the first name, pre within 2, and the author's last name. So this is telling the system, I want you to find the word Thomas within 2 words of Wilhelm, but also before, 2 words before Wilhelm. So it's telling the system really what we're looking for is a name. So once we do that, we will run the search. You could also select law reviews and journals, secondary materials before you run the search, but I'm just going to click on secondary materials after, and then click on law reviews and journals. From here, we can use our search term maps to find what we're looking for. We could even just keep searching through the titles. We know we're talking about Google Books, and sure enough, it's here, and there's that middle initial. But if we needed to, we could use a search within results. For something like this, I would have just typed in Google and gotten that result right away. So keep this in mind for your future endeavors when you're looking for someone by name. So the last issue I want to discuss is when the author of a law review or journal article makes a claim that requires a reference. In other words, this is the orphan text problem. So what this is when an author makes a claim or statement that requires a reference in the footnotes. They say something that isn't really an opinion, it really needs support, and they just don't provide anything. So let's say that we have an author that wrote, commentators have long examined the application of long-arm statutes and analysis of personal jurisdiction cases. Something you can't really just say unless you have something to back it up. So something that you can do is decide what type of authority is needed and use segment searches or commands and connectors to find the authority. And I will go over how to do both of those methods. So for this problem, one thing that you can do is simply run a keyword search. So we could search for personal jurisdiction within, we'll say 25 of long arm statute, and run our search. We'd want to pick what kind of source we'd want for this. Something like a secondary material, another law review and journal seems appropriate here. So I would pick from my content categories here. If you need to click more, you can. Click on secondary materials, and then law reviews and journals, and simply start going through the results here, possibly add more search within results terms to really find something that's going to help you. Again, this is where the search term maps is going to help you. You can see how these terms are actually being used, so you may be able to pick out a source that supports this statement before you really even have to click into it. Another thing you can do is a segment search. So this is a type of advanced search. So I just clicked on Lexis up here to return to my home screen, and I'm going to click on advanced search, which is located right under the search bar. Once I do this, you'll see that I have a document segments section here. Right now I'm searching everything, but I need to pick my content type. So this is where I would decide what kind of source I want. So if I were to stick with law reviews and journals, I could click on that, and then I would simply go to a different segment that I want to search. If you aren't sure what the different segments mean, there's always an example once you scroll down. This goes for any content type that you can select, and it will tell you exactly what you can search. So I would probably search personal jurisdiction and long arm statute in the title here. I think that would be a good way to find something that's really on point and can support this. Let's say that you were interested in looking for a legal news article, what we think warrants legal news, or whatever is in the text. You can simply come in here, pick your content type again. We'll go with legal news, and those document segments will change based on the source. So something that I recommend doing if you are looking for a legal news or a news source is search for the headline and lead sections. The headline, of course, is a title, and your lead section is that first paragraph that really lays out what the news article is talking about. So in here, again, I would probably just search personal jurisdiction and long arm statute for this particular problem. So this is a good way to solve for when you run into the orphan text problem. Almost everybody does at some point. Not all footnote assignments are easy and created equal. So keep this in mind when you are stuck on that kind of problem. Thank you again for tuning into this series on cite and substance checking. I really hope that this was helpful for you all and works as a resource that you can return to should the need arise. Again, if you have any questions about anything covered in this exercise, please reach out to me via email or text, call. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Thank you.